Hi, welcome to our inaugural episode of Join Us at the Bar.
We're here for you.
I'm Lisa Hanson, and this is my co-host, Haley Bohlmann. We are your communications department for the Iowa State Bar Association, and we are just so happy to be launching this podcast and have you join us.
Yes, and why this podcast? Because we've received dozens of comments from our legal community members, Iowa State Bar Association members, and more on how we should be doing a podcast.
And so here we are.
Here we are.
Doing our podcast.
Here for you.
Yes.
And also, it's just another way to connect in a more informal type of environment.
Yes, we are looking forward to getting together with you probably every other month, maybe more, but for now, that's our goal, is to see you every other month for some lighthearted conversation and just going to talk about some different topics related to the law.
That's right. And to make it fun, we did have a naming competition for this podcast.
We did.
It was pretty cool. We got 23 awesome entries. Mm-hmm. And we will announce a couple of the finalists because there were some good ones.
There were some good ones.
We have to share them.
We were so happy to have people participate.
Yes. So our top finalists were the Practice Pod.
Love it.
So Law Practice Podcast.
Yep.
That was from Vanessa and Cedar Rapids.
Yep.
And then Blah Blah Blah, BLAW, swing. Thank you to Michael from Ottumwa. So thanks to all who shared their ideas. We really appreciate your engagement and want to hear your feedback.
Yes, going forward, all throughout this journey that we're going to take with you, you can always reach out to us at communications@iowabar.org. We welcome your feedback. We welcome your topic suggestions. And we do have more competitions, not competitions, that sounds really...
Contests?
Yes, contests. Yes. We have more opportunities for you to get a shout out from us in the future. We did come up with our winner, which was Join Us at the Bar. We picked that because we want you to feel as though you're joining us. We want you to feel included. We know that opportunities for personal engagement have, kind of taken a hit post-COVID, during COVID, and so we want you to join us in this lighthearted conversation, whether you're just listening or watching, but join us at the bar.
Yes, join us at the bar, and also, I guess I would just add to that, getting away from the bar connotation.
Yes.
For example, when I started working with bar associations and now at the Iowa State Bar Association, some of those people that didn't know me very closely or didn't know I was in the legal industry would ask, oh, so you're in an association for drinking establishments. So just kind of overcoming that and more normalizing the use of the bar and Iowa State Bar as a credentialed, obviously, bar exam for lawyers.
Yes, so whether you're sitting for the bar, you're just going to take the bar, whether you recently passed the bar, or whether you've been a member of the bar for decades. We hope that you find this entertaining and enjoyable.
To explain the structure of our podcast episodes going forward, every episode will have a theme.
Yes.
And then we'll also have a leadership development takeaway.
Yep.
Our structure will also include what is it, Lisa?
Wait, what? This episode's shocking statistic.
An eye-opening fact. And then finally we'll round it out with a specific case study from a case here in Iowa, from Iowa Supreme Court or Iowa Court of Appeals.
Yes. Quick point of clarification, just to clear up any misconceptions, not attorneys. So, nothing in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, taken as legal advice, no official positions of the Bar Association. We are just here to maybe play some devil's advocate on cases that have happened, maybe give more of a layman's perspective on things, and again, always welcoming your feedback, not attorneys.
Yep.
But we're here for the attorneys. We're here for you.
Exactly.
At the bar.
So setting the agenda for this episode.
We are going to go forward with the theme of divorce/family law this month.
Kind of more leaning in towards common law marriage.
Yes.
So we'll get to that. And then our leadership development takeaway is a personality assessment.
Yes.
That Lisa and I both took, and we're excited to share our results with you, and figured it's actually worked out well as our first episode to get to know your hosts.
Yes, that's right. That's
join us at the bar.
And learn a little bit about us.
Exactly. Yeah. And maybe yourself if you take the assessment.
That's right.
But as part of a leadership tie-in, obviously personalities working together in your personal lives, maybe even in your spousal relationships, knowing and being self-aware of your personality tendencies or characteristic, tendencies or behaviors, and being aware of others.
That's true.
Tendency to behave a certain way or, make decisions this way can be very helpful when we're talking about, in your law practice, working with your lawyer or legal professional colleagues, interacting with your clients, and for the community of legal consumers, possibly even choosing your attorney, because personality has a lot to do with it, as well as skill.
Yes, and also whether it might be premature, but it could also help you in your client selection, right? I mean, if it could potentially help you avoid one of those clients where you're just like, absolutely not, this is not working for me. So maybe as part of your client intake, it only takes 10 minutes, it's free, it's online. We're gonna share that information with you as to where to find it. They're not a sponsor yet, so we have no ties to them, but we found it to be pretty accurate and a little bit surprising. So Haley, your big surprise.
Yes, okay, so my big surprise, so this is the Big 5 personality assessment.
Yes, that's right.
There's research done behind identifying 5 key indicators of personality, and so the Big 5 are the 5 different types of personality characteristics. So I guess maybe we should name those first. It would be openness to experiences, meaning distinguishes imaginative, creative people from conventional or more practical. Conscientiousness, which is how we control and regulate and direct impulses. Extroversion, which means engagement with the external world. Agreeableness, so cooperation, social harmony. And neuroticism, which is a tendency to experience negative feelings, coping, emotional reactions, that type of thing. And so you take the assessment, it's a bunch of kind of quick multiple choice questions. And my big takeaway or surprise, I guess, for taking it this time was I had taken this assessment in my past experience at Drake through a leadership development master's, and my highest score was on extroversion.
I can see that.
So above everything else, I definitely scored higher on extroversion. This time I took it and I scored highest on conscientiousness. Kind of interesting to see a shift in where the high score was. Lisa, what was your kind of surprising takeaway? I know you had something fun to share.
I did. Well, it's probably very surprising, like for my family. My highest score was in agreeableness, and so I was curious if it has something to do with, at this point in my life, I just go with the flow, or I would be interested to see if things change. To Haley's point, she took it 5 years ago. Does it change as you age? Does it change over time? But my biggest shocker was that my lowest score was, how do you say it? Extrovertism?
Oh yeah, extroverted. Yeah,
extroverted. Yeah, and so that was surprising to me. Haley was very surprised to hear that was my lowest score.
I would not have expected that at all.
So here I am, just running my mouth. Here's our challenge to you. We would like you, as our newly found listeners, take the test, and we want to know. We want your feedback. We want to know if A, you find it helpful, B, if there's any surprises, C, kind of do you find it accurate? Again, not sponsors. We just found it to be a very useful tool to kind of do some self-assessment. I think moving forward, it will be helpful as as we interact as colleagues, and then we hope it's helpful for y'all as you interact with your clients, with your colleagues, and even at home, even on a personal level. So that's this episode's professional development tip of the episode.
Yes.
Try it. Let us know what you
definitely
think. Oh, what's that? Do you have the address in front of you?
Yes, it's https://big5 spelled out BIGFIVE -test.com. And again, to Lisa's point, exactly. Working together in a professional scenario, it's nice to know our own personality types, especially knowing that. For example, if somebody was extroverted versus maybe they scored low on an extroversion, meaning they're more of an introvert. that's helpful to know because somebody might come to the office and be chipper and ready to talk, and somebody might not be as receptive. They're more, go to the
No talk
office
before 10 a.m.
yeah, or before coffee, right?
Yeah.
First coffee.
Coffee first, yes.
So just understanding,
Yeah.
that's their personality, or,
Yes.
likewise with the agreeableness, knowing that Lisa is more agreeable, it might be good for me working with her to say, okay, so if we were going to play devil's advocate, what would that look like? Or, getting that other perspective. So again, implementing it in your personal, professional lives for a self-development tool and to help understand others, we think will be very valuable. Take it, let us know what you think. Let us know how you're going to use it. Maybe it's just a good point of conversation in a firm meeting or, business meeting.
You can take it to your staff meeting, you can take it to your HR director and just be like, hey, here's my strengths, here's my weaknesses. How can we better put that to use here in our firm, here in my practice?
It might be fun to take with your spouse.
All right, so are you ready for this? All right, here is our monthly wait what moment. So this shocking statistic about divorce. Did you know, Haley, that since 1990, the divorce rate for people in the age range of 50 to 70 has more than doubled?
Wait, what?
I know. More than doubled. 50 to 70. What do you think that is?
Well, I guess my initial take would be what's happening with these 50 to 70-year-olds that's making them want a divorce.
Yeah.
And at that point in your life,
Right.
you are planning for retirement, potentially. Maybe you've held back things in your life that you decide you're not going to hold back on anymore and decide that, I don't know, I think we had a conversation leading up to this episode where I believe one of the top reasons for divorce is financial reasons. So maybe you're just ready to be independent and financially independent and take responsibility on for yourself.
Yeah. I wonder if, given the fact that now the majority of households are two-income households, that it has been empowering to spouses to, at this point, go pursue their dreams. Perhaps they've raised their children, they've stuck it out for the sake of the family, and now it's my turn.
Yeah.
Right? My turn to be me.
Yeah. What do you think, guys? What do you think listening? Yeah. Do you think that would be a reason for the statistic, or what are we missing?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we missing?
Because to me that was very surprising. At that point well, I'm not there yet, but at that point in your life, at that point in your life, you'd be like, this is kind of where I'm at. Like, this is how I perceive that I'm gonna ride out the rest of my days.
Right, and in a traditional sense, it was more that we're just gonna buckle down and get through it.
Yeah,
we can't get a divorce now.
Right. What's the point?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Again, communications@iowabar.org. What do you think is leading to that, in my opinion, pretty surprising statistic? 50 to 70-year-olds, their divorce rate has more than doubled. Time for the final segment of this episode, and that's going to be our case study.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. So our case study this episode is from an Iowa Court of Appeals case. It's case number 22-0001. It was published in October of 2022. We actually chose this case to deal with the divorce theme, and it came from an article that was published in the December 2022, January 2023, the Iowa Lawyer magazine, titled The Inevitable Demise of Common Law Marriage by Ben Chapman. And one interesting fact about this is, did you know Iowa is only one of 8 states in the U.S. that currently recognizes common law marriage?
Wait, what?
Another wait what?
Another wait what? Only 8. I did not. This was new information to me as we were preparing for this and as we were going through the magazine process, that I did not realize that there are literally only 8 states in the country that still currently recognize common law marriage. I thought it was common. Turns out, not so common.
Right. Yes. And what would we know? We're in Iowa.
Not
so.
attorneys.
We're not
attorneys.
attorneys.
Again, the ongoing disclaimer.
Yes. And so the interesting piece of this is the fact that having the common law marriage and the need to potentially prove common law marriage can make a case much more complicated and potentially longer than it necessarily needs to be, which is probably why the other states have just
done away with it,
abolished it.
Yeah.
So this specific case,
Tell me what happened. Tell me what happened. Okay. Fill me in. Tell me what happened.
So a couple went to Costa Rica, had a wedding ceremony on June 5th, 2013, but no marriage license or application was submitted.
Okay. So basically, we're all hanging out on the beach saying I do.
Correct.
Okay, carry on.
Yep.
All right, got it.
They signed a prenuptial agreement on June 18th that same year. So just a few weeks later, that's when they actually signed their prenuptial agreement.
Okay.
And then about a month later, on July 13th, that same year, they obtained a marriage certificate in Las Vegas.
Okay, so I'm just gonna retrace our steps.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the beach, we say I do in front of our friends and family.
Correct.
Then we go get a prenup.
Yep.
And then we go to Vegas and we get a certificate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I think I'm with you.
Great. And
Okay.
so then the couple actually filed for divorce in 2020, and the dispute was the actual date they were married to determine if the prenuptial agreement was effective.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, and so one side argued that the ceremony in Costa Rica met the criteria for common law marriage, and therefore the prenuptial agreement that would have been signed subsequently was invalid.
Right, because they would have signed what was a prenup after the ceremony.
Right, should have been a postnup at
Right,
that point.
at that point, yeah, one
Mhm.
would think. Okay, all right.
And then the other side argued that the prenuptial agreement was valid and signed before their marriage date of July 13th when they received the marriage certificate in Vegas.
I see that. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
So, you want to hear what
What
happened?
did they decide?
Okay, after
So
a
what is the status?
3-day trial,
3 days of trial,
59-page divorce decree,
59-page decree.
the court said they were married on July 13th in Vegas,
Okay,
and therefore the prenuptial agreement was valid.
okay. So you're not married till you're married.
That's what was
Just 'cause
decided
you-
in this case.
Okay, so just because you say
Mhm.
I do on the beach, you're not
Mhm.
married till you're married.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Which brings us to wondering what satisfies a common law marriage.
I've always heard there were like, what, 2 or 3 different, well, I don't know, is it even legally binding? Like 2 or 3 different criteria that would establish one. Is that kind of still what the legal
Yes.
thoughts are?
Yes,
Okay.
according to my research,
Okay.
there are 3 pieces that determine if you have a common law marriage. So, 1, there must be an agreement that the people are married.
Okay.
2, the couple must live together continuously as spouses. And 3, the couple needs to present themselves as publicly a married couple.
Okay.
So when you're introducing, this is my wife or this is my husband,
Okay.
even though you don't have a certificate, but you still live together and you live together continuously.
And is there like a certain time frame?
See, that's the interesting thing. Some research led to believe that maybe it was like 7 years that determined, now it's a common law marriage.
Okay.
But according to the Iowa Legal Aid website, it says there's no specific time that the couple must live together to meet the second requirement, which is living together as continuously as spouse, and that it applies in our conversation today. I think this attorney that worked this specific case, Kelly Gossingla, represented the plaintiff in this case and said the case law is inconsistent in whether common law marriage exists, which makes it difficult to advise clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that would really complicate things if it's not very straightforward.
Right. I think from a client's perspective, from an attorney's perspective, and probably from the court's perspective, it would make sense, again, not an attorney, it would probably make sense to just be like, yeah, I think it's gone like the way of the old days. That'd be my opinion. What do y'all think? communications@iowabar.org. Let us know. Common law marriage, common or probably shouldn't be so common anymore.
Yes, exactly. If you ask the author, Ben Chapman, he would say there shouldn't be a need to prove a marriage. There's either a certificate or there's
All
not.
right. So I know that y'all didn't think we were gonna have anyone join us at the bar for our first episode. Come here. Look who's here. It's our executive director, Dwight Dinkla. He chose to join us at the bar, and we hope you will too.
Now, at the end of each episode, we'd like to do our host's final thoughts. So Lisa, what are your final thoughts on this episode?
So, A, I'm just excited that it's happening. And B, I was super surprised with my Big Five personality test. It was good to learn, and I hope that y'all find some benefit in that, like I did. Haley, how about you?
My takeaway would be that, wait, what?
I know.
Statistic
I
that there are so
know.
many people at age 50 to 70
At that
getting
age range.
divorced.
Yeah, it kind of it was kind of sad, but you
Yeah.
know what? Also, good for them. Go live your life.
Maybe it's
Be
empowering.
free. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely. So for a
Okay.
more serious take on the law, definitely check out the Iowa Lawyer magazine or the Iowa Lawyer weekly email newsletter. You can find them on the Iowa State Bar Association website, which is just simply www.iowabar.org. And
one quick little shout out. We also have now started offering the Iowa Lawyer magazine in an audio version. So you can go to like specific articles and then just click for listen now. And you can hear Haley or I reading to you, which hopefully is a new benefit. So you can just do it while you're working out or driving, because don't read and drive, that's terrible. So yeah, that's another new little exciting development from your communications department here at the Iowa State Bar Association.
yes, and please let us know what you think. We are open to your feedback. Maybe you have ideas for future topics. Maybe, who knows, you'll be joining us at the bar here soon.
I mean, we're here for you. We would love to have you come join us. We are just so grateful for everyone that has helped us get this podcast launched, and we just want to give such a shout out to our colleagues that gave us technical advice, and also MVM Consulting provided a great service and gave us so much advice. Again, we're looking for more, so please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here for you.
That's right. Just reach out, communications@iowabar.org, and thanks so much for joining us at the bar.
Can't wait to see you soon.